Welcome back to the ClickFunnels Quick Start Blueprint. This is Dan Havey with CFninjaHacks, and today we are going to continue looking at the elements on the page. We're going to come down here, we're going to add an element, and last time we went through all the text elements. Today we are going to go through the media elements. So let's click on the image, and we will pull that into place. And then let's open up the settings. And if you missed out on my earlier videos where we talk about everything down here at the bottom or advanced and animations, go to, I think it should be section, the video on section, rows, and columns. Video number 3 should do that. So then we got here at the top, we got our top margin like we have on just about every single element. And then right here is where we can put in an image. So we'll just click on that little landscape button there, and we have all of our images that are inside of your account. And of course we can upload a new image. You can do it by just grabbing it off of your desktop, and I went outside my frame and grabbed an image off my desktop, and you can just plunk it in right there. We'll let that load up. Or what you can do is you can come up here to upload, and it will upload from your desktop your documents wherever you would like. And so let's just say we want to open up this one and load it onto the page. Now if you ever want to delete an image off of the page, out of the image editor here, or the image library, probably be a better name for it, you just simply click on any one of the elements and a little garbage can will appear over here. Click on the garbage can, click on OK, and there it is gone. Now also with any of these images, you can also tag them. So in this case here, let's just say this one here, I want to give a tag of ninja. And then we can come in and we can say we don't want to enter a tag for that one. What we want to do is we want to come back to our library and we want to search. And so now if I search for the term ninja, then it's going to pull up any ones that I have tagged with the term ninja. And I didn't realize I had so many tagged with the term of ninja. So let's see what else we can do here. Of course, we can cancel out if you want to leave the page. Or we can click over here when we are done and we can just add the image to the page. Or at any time you want to add an image directly, you just double click on it and it puts the image directly into the page. So we're back in here. What else can we do in here? We can search, and they got Pixabay, Icon Finder, and Unsplash. And you simply type in a term here. Let's type in dog, and we don't have to change the styles or anything, and it'll just start finding dog images. Let's try one here. Let's say we only want vectors. So let's see if we can find any vector dog images. There we go. We got tons of them right there. And like I said, Icon Finder and Unsplash, you can use those as well. They provide you a lot of different backgrounds. Most of these are gradients or have some sort of a texture or something behind them, so you can easily drop those into your pages as background elements for the sections, rows, columns, anything like that. And then here we have just some stock graphics, some badges, some arrows, and they got arrows in different colors and boxes in different colors, check marks as well, underlines, and then they have faces, and the faces are different depending on what color. I've never actually seen anybody use pretty much any of this stuff here. Then we can go into our map, and they had Boise, Idaho here, so let's just type Boise, Idaho back in. And we will say generate the image, and so it generated an image of Boise, Idaho. And we can say here image size, let's make it large. Instead of a road map, let's make it a satellite image. Zoom level, let's say we want to get very close, so we'll zoom way in. And you can even put a marker on there if you would like. And the marker color, we'll just leave that red, and we'll make that large. So now we can generate our image, and it's going to give us a map, and I think this is the Boise, Idaho state capital or something right here. And so then you can save and upload this image if you would like, and then use it on your page. So it's a nice way to be able to just put a map to where the location of your business is, or if you're selling a piece of real estate or something, you can put a map right there on the page next to the image. And we'll come back to the library. And then only one other thing I'll show you here is I mentioned when I'm talking about putting in your favicon that what you want to do is upload your favicon into the image library here, and then right-click on it and come down and you're going to say copy the image address. So you're going to copy that image address, and then you're going to go into the settings for the funnel, and where it says favicon, you're going to paste that in, and then that will put your favicon from your image library. It'll put that into your page, and again, it'll show up like the little ninja guy up here at the top. So let's cancel out of here because we already have our image on the page. And down here, you can put in some SEO alt text, so you can say what this image is about, and then, of course, the search engines will read that as they come through and they spider your page. And then we can change the image width if we want. So let's just say we want it to be 300 pixels wide. And generally speaking, I only set a width. I don't set a width and a height, because most of the time you're not going to know what the exact aspect ratio is of your image, and if you set both the width and the height, you're going to mess it up, and the image is going to be misshapen and it's going to look funny. So generally speaking, just set the width. Now we can come down here, and you can use images essentially like they were buttons by giving them either a certain functionality like we're seeing here, or giving them a URL. So one thing you could do is you could have it open a pop-up. So we set it to open a pop-up. Now when somebody clicks on this, the pop-up will open. And let's take this back out and see what else we had in here. We could also submit the form. So instead of having a button that says, join now or whatever the heck it says, you can make a button, or an image do exactly the same thing and act like it's a button. We can go to the next URL, so go to the next funnel step. Won't submit the page, won't save anything that's on the page like an email address or anything, but it will just take you to the next step in your funnel. And then we can, of course, close a pop-up. So in a case like this, you would put this image inside of the pop-up itself, and then when somebody clicked on it, it would close that pop-up. And of course, you'd have to have some sort of text on it to let people know that they were supposed to click on it, just like you would on a button. And then we could also use these for yes, no links if you're doing an OTO, an upsell, or a downsell. But also we can do is we can take out the hashtag, and then we can put in a URL. So let's put in https://google.com. And so now when somebody clicked on that image, it would take them to google.com, and you have your choice. You can stay in the same tab that we're in, or we can open up a new tab when they go to Google. In this case here, I'd probably have them open up a new tab. So also in here, we can have themes. And so as we click on these here, you're going to see the image changing as far as the border and the background and the padding and the corner radiuses and all that. So there's a lot of different choices in here of what you can make your image look like. And that one even there kind of fades it out. So we'll just leave it with this one here. So we come in here, just check them out. There's a lot of different variations on what you can do. And now we can go to our advanced, and we can align this to the left, center, and right, of course. And we can put a radius on here. Now they only really have two choices. They say it's circular, but if you have a rectangular image, it's going to come out looking like that, or we can just round the corners. But in this case here, because we had already applied a template to it, it wasn't going to change around the corners, but now it will. It's just a very slight rounding there. We can put a white border around it, or we can put a dark border around the outside, and we can put a dark shadow around the outside, which you can't really see unless you go with the white border. Now you can kind of see that dark shadow on the white behind. And then we can work with the visibility if we want, and we can also make it a black and white image. So you'll see here the red behind the Ninja Hackers fades to a gray color, and now it's back to its red. So that's really it for this image that we have. Now let's go to the next element, and that next element is going to be virtually the same, and you're going to see that going forward, is that the only difference here is this is an image pop-up element. So here you have the image on the page, doesn't change, you can use it as a button, that kind of thing. With the image pop-up, we're going to set a thumbnail, and then we're going to set what is going to pop up to be a larger image. So first off, let's come in and let's just pick an image for the thumbnail. Let's just use this one here. I'll double click on it. So that's my thumbnail image. That's what we're going to see on the screen. And again, let's just change the width of this to 300 to make it look like the one above it. We can put in some alt text here. Of course, if you want, it helps with search engines. I also do believe it's used by readers for people who have disabilities. But now what do we want for our full-size picture on this page? And let's just use this ad here from Russell Brunson. So you don't see it on the page, but when we activate this, it will go there. Themes, again, we can do exactly the same as we had before. We can put a theme on it, and then we could do the same thing. Center, radius, all the same things we did originally with the images. So let's just save this, and we will preview the page. And so if I click on this Ninja Hackers, what it's going to do is open up a new tab and bring us to Google. But if I click on the other image, boom, opens up full page, that image of Russell. So that there is your image pop-up element. Now next up, we have our video element. And so let's open this up. And again, margin as always, we can put in different videos. So we got 6 different options here. You got custom embed code, YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, and a couple more. Frankly, I've never used. In fact, I've never used Vimeo or Wistia either. But for the custom embed, what you would do is, in my case here, I use it when I'm putting in videos from Searchy. They will give you an iframe code just like this. It'll start off with iframe source equals, and you just take that code and you drop it in there, and then you will see the video immediately. You can put some overlay text on it, and this says it only works with block pause. So in this case here, I don't think there's a setting for block pause. Block pause. So I don't think this is going to work anyway inside of this element if we're using a custom embed. You can put in a title for the video, and then you can set a background color. But I checked on the background color, and it doesn't seem to do anything because there's nowhere for the background color to be. So I'm not really sure why that is on there. And then let's just type in this is a title, and see if or where that comes up, because again, I've never seen that show up anywhere either. So now if we come into a YouTube video, for YouTube, if you want to put in a video there, let me just come over to this page here. Let's just click this to play, and I will immediately mute it. What you want for your URL for YouTube is this URL right up here, not the one from the share, not anything else. You want to use this URL, so we will copy that URL out. We will come back to our page, and we will put it in right there. And if you need more instructions on this, let me see here. Setting the proper URL for a YouTube video in ClickFunnels. I have a video right here on how to do that, and that's under the Page Editor section. So we put that in, and then with the rest of these here, I'm going to tell you, you have to play with it. Autoplay controls, branding, block pause. You got to play around with it a little bit. And the reason why I'm saying that is because for the most part, I don't know what they do. I mean, I have worked with this a whole bunch of different times, and I can't get them to really change much of anything. We can put in an optional width here. Let's say we want 500 pixels. Again, I don't think that's going to work either. So like I said, these things are kind of, in some ways, a little bit buggy. We can come into our themes, and again, we can put a theme around this. And that pulled up a little high, so let's put a little bit of space in there again. And we can go to advanced, and we can say, instead of full width, now it's going to be full width of the column it's sitting inside of. We can say we want 3/4 of the width of that. We can also do sticky on scroll. So actually, before I do that, let's just save the page first, and let's preview it with that video link in there. And so, yeah, so I put in the title, I put in the yellow background. None of them are showing here, and I don't see any title popping up here again either. So, like I said, I'm not really quite sure what some of that is about, but it's one of those things. Check it out. Check out ClickFunnels docs, and then if you have any problems, get a hold of ClickFunnels support. But what we can do here is we can say sticky on scroll. Let's turn that on. And then sticky width, we can decide on a width on this. Let's just make it, let's make it large. Normally you probably wouldn't do that. Sticky position. Now what this is going to do is when we scroll down the page, so here we are, if we start scrolling down the page, this video will pop loose and it'll go into one of the corners on the page. I'm sure you've seen that on other sites somewhere. So let's just, let's make it top left. That's where we want it. Have it go up top left. Sticky style. Let me see here. Black with drop shadow, white with drop shadow, light transparent border, dark transparent border. Let's go dark with a drop shadow because we got a white background, and close sticky icon. So let's put that on there. And then another setting that we had not seen yet is padding. So it gives you more padding around the video, which not really sure why you'd want to do that either. But let's go in here and let's reload the page. And now as we scroll down the page, that video, see, it popped out of there and it ended up over here. But because we had set this background and all the padding, then we have this right here on the page. So let's come back into the element and let's go back to our themes and like basically get rid of the theme. Let's get rid of the padding. And then let's say instead of that one, let's go dark transparent border. And so let's save this again. So right now we had dark shadow around the outside, and we can close it because we had the close button. But now let's reload the page. And now let's see what happens as we start to scroll down the page. Boom, it flies over here and has a little bit of, like I said, a transparent border, and then somebody can exit out. Or as you scroll back up to the top, see, once you get to the element, basically, it goes popping off to the side. Let me see how far we had to go. So right, you're almost there. Yeah, basically right when you get to it, it pops off to the side. And then when you come back up to the top, it goes right back into place. So that is it, I think, for the video element. Now we have exactly the same thing as we had before. We had an image and an image pop-up. Now we have a video and a video pop-up. And in this case here, we have to put in our thumbnail URL again. So what's going to show on the page. So let's just put this image in here. So this will show on the page until somebody clicks on it, and then the YouTube video will pop into place. So let's go back to our YouTube video. Let's grab this again. Let's copy that. And we will put that in. And then again, we can put in some alt text. We can put in a title, but I don't think that's doing anything. And we can change the thumbnail size. Let's see here. Let's make it 400. Yeah, so, okay, so that's working just fine, the thumbnail size. And again, we can put some sort of a border or something around it if we so choose. And advanced, again, alignment, radius, etc., etc. So let us, again, do this. We will save it, and we will test it. And so now we have our video pop-up right here. So we click on that, page pops up with the video playing on it. So obviously you don't want to have that video and this video on the same page because one will be over the top of the other. But again, this is really nice, and the best place to use this is if you're putting a whole bunch of videos onto the page, because if you have just a regular video on the page, it really makes the load time much longer. So by having it be a pop-up, the video doesn't actually load until after you click on the image. So this will help you with your page load speed by putting it into a video pop-up or video modal. You may also hear it called MODAL, is whenever you have a pop-up. It's also known as a modal. And then we have, I do believe, one element left, and that would be our audio player. And I have never actually used this element, but you got to go out and find yourself your audio file, normally like an MP3 or something. You probably store that somewhere like on your Google Drive or Amazon or something like that. I don't think you could get it into the what do they call it, where you can store the stuff inside of ClickFunnels. I'm drawing a complete blank on it right now, but I think the file would be way, way, way too big to get it into the digital assets. That's what it's called. And then we can turn controls on or off, so we will leave those on. We will autoplay it, and you can loop it as well. We can look at different styles, and then as soon as you put in that style, you always lose your top margin, so we'll put that back in. Do we want it full width, 3/4 width? Where do you want it? Do you want it in the center? Do you want any more padding around it? In this case here, definitely not. And then that would be it. And the width again here is determined by its bounding element, the elements inside of, which in this case here would be this column. So this in this case here would be 3/4 of the column width, or we could come down and even make it half of the column width and have it be in the middle, or like I said, left or right. So that is it for all of the elements in the media itself. And the next time what we'll do is we'll jump in and take a look at our forms. As always, any questions, let me know.